and welcome to today's class. I'm Regina. I will take you through a little stretch class today, and just before we get started, just making sure everyone can hear me alright. If you have any issues with the stream, just post in the comments and hopefully it will be passed on to me and we can fix it as soon as it comes up. As I said, just stretching along with me today, and I will just give you a little overview of what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to start with a little warm-up and then doing some leg flexibility and back and shoulder flexibility, and both of those sections will include a little bit of stretching and then some active flexibility as well. And we're going to finish up with a little round of abs. Just to keep our core strong and put everything back in place. So what you need, as you might have seen on the pre-stream slide, so we just need some space, enough to do some leg kicks and those sort of things, so about 2 yoga mats worth. Just a wee bit of wall space, just to do some shoulder stretches. You don't need heaps, just a little section on the wall would be great. A chair or a low table, that one doesn't have to be particularly sturdy or anything, just need it for a couple of exercises later on. A scarf or a tea towel, or if you have a TheraBand, that would also be fantastic, but a scarf or tea towel will be fantastic. If you have some yoga blocks, they will come in quite handy, but they're not needed, so don't worry if you don't have any. You can use your chair and those sort of things as well later on. Alright, so for the warm-up, I have prepared like a little song to do a little workout with. Unfortunately, we can't play it through the broadcast because that will cut off the stream because of the copyright issues via YouTube. So what we did is just had some the links to the videos that I'm going to use to the songs just down in the description of the video. So if you just click on the first link, just right click on it, open in a new tab, and then you can play it for yourself, so you have the music to go along. I will just put on my headphones and then we can do it together. I will just give you a moment to open that video while I get prepared and let the YouTube ad play if there's one coming up. So I'll give you a second to do that. I will get set up and then we get started. So the first song will be Billie Eilish, Bad Guy. And let me open it for me. Right. And when you're ready, just go up onto your feet and start playing the music. Drop one shoulder and the other shoulder and come back to neutral. And nice and loose in your shoulders. And lift the heels. And tap shoulder. And pulses. And go into a plank. And mountain climbers. Tap. Lift one leg to your chest. Other leg. And back onto your feet. legs up, side to side, and add the arms. And into a lunge. And to the side. Drop one leg. And last one. Great. Alright, that was our little warm up. So hopefully you got your heart rate up a little bit and we can get started on more flexibility. Just adjust the camera angle just a wee bit. There we go. First thing we're going to do, start off with some leg kicks. So probably sit up on your elbows. One leg is straight, the other one's bent, and then we're going to kick it up into our chest 10 times. If that doesn't give you enough of an activation, you can also lie back down and kick it up here. And switch legs. On your elbows, legs straight, point your feet, and kick it up. Nine and 10. Cool. And then we're going to do the same ones to the side. So again, up on your elbows, nice and straight line. So make sure that your shoulders are in line with your hips and your feet. Nice straight legs. Hips are stacked up here. And then we're going to kick your leg up 10 times. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great. And other side. And again, make sure, check yourself, check that you have a nice straight line in your body. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great. Alright, these are really good to get your legs just nice and activated, muscles waking up. We're going to do some exercise for your quads and your hips. So go back and find your wall space. Sit as close to the wall as you can. Reach forward, grab your toes or your chins or your knees, wherever you are, that's fine. And then shuffle back further all the way against the wall so that you are nice and close as possible. And then we're going to start with one leg, just lifting it up 10 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. Think about turning out your leg a little bit. Keep your toes pointed. 7, 8, 9, and then 10 pulses at the top. Try and reach as high as you can. And switch legs. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great, give that a little bit of shake out. You'll feel your quads working hard. If your legs don't go very high, that's totally fine. When you first start doing them, they don't go quite as high because your legs are not used to doing those sort of things in isolation. We love to use our back to lift our legs usually, so don't worry if you find them quite challenging, they are really hard. Alright, next one, and just a little straddle. Bring your hands in the middle. You can use your hands a little bit, don't try and use them as little as possible. And then just lift here 10 times again. Eight, 9, and 10. Alright, give that a shake out. Can be really hard on your hips as well. That's good. Get those muscles moving and working. Now that they're nice and woken up, we can use them we can make sure that they're staying engaged when we do all our stretches, because you don't want to do them completely passively. You want to always stay a little bit engaged, just to make it nice and safe. So I'm going to do that to the side so you can see it properly. I'm going to start off with our lunges and also take off my top so you can see what I'm talking about. Alright, if you have a yoga block, you can use it to balance. If you don't have one, you can use the floor, use a chair, use the wall, just whatever you need. So I'm going to start off with a little lunge here. So we want to have the front leg about 90 degrees from the floor. So here, that should be a nice 90-degree angle. Tuck your pelvis under, try and engage your abs a little bit here. Bring up your shoulders, relax your shoulders though. Get nice and breathe. I'm going to grab my phone to do the timer as well, to just make sure that we're holding all the stretches for an appropriate amount of time. So, there we go. Timer is set. We're just going to hold it here for a bit. You can use your hand as well to just maybe rotate your leg under a little bit and put some pressure in it so that you can get a nice good stretch here. Nice. And then we're going to grab back foot. You want to pull it towards us while you also push with the foot into the hand. And then we're going to lift up 5 times here to a nice stretch and go back down. And as you go up, you want to straighten your back. Engage your abs, use the core to straighten your back. And you really should feel the stretch in your quad when you come up. So I've lost count, but I'm going to do 1 more. And that should be 5. Hold it here. Feel it stretch in your quad. Engage your lower back, so that's just the end of between the kind of your glutes and your hamstrings. You want to squeeze there, just to make sure that you're really getting a good stretch and it stays nice and stable there. Great. You're going to go back into a lunge, let go of your leg, and then lift the knee off the floor 10 times. 3, 4. Try and stay nice and low in your stretch when you lift. You just want to kind of increase the stretch a little bit and get that leg nice and active. Bottom. Nice. And then twist open to your side. Yeah. Push with your elbow against your knee to get a nice open straddle. And then reach over. Try and not use your arms at all. 5. And then go up onto your feet and put all your weight in your front leg here. Engage your quads. So feel like you want to pull your kneecap up towards you. Get that quad nice and engaged. And then you can put some more weight onto it. Get your chest nice and close to your leg. And then lift up onto your toes or the balls of your feet 5 times. 3, 4, 5. Nice. Bring your foot towards you, the other one, close into a pike, and hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. And other side, I'm going to switch sides. There. Again, starting off with your lunge. I'm going to restart that timer. There we go. Nice, 90 degrees from the floor. Put some pressure into your back leg if you like. Engage your abs. Relax your shoulders. And tuck your pelvis under. So you want to tuck it forward if you can. Nice. Hold that for just another 5 seconds. Nice and relaxed. And then grab the back leg and pull it towards you as you push your foot into your hand. You can use your yoga block to balance if you like, or your chair or your wall, or nothing if you feel stable enough. and then lift up 5 times. Again, going into like a little arch at the bottom and straightening your back right at the top. Get a nice stretch in your quads. And nice and active. Yeah. And one more. Nice. And then hold that for a moment. Feel stretch in your quads. Squeeze your lower back. Engage your abs. Your body should be upright by now, your chest. And nice, go back into your lunge. And open up towards the front here. Push your arm into your knee. And then bend over. Breathe. Nice. And then go up onto your feet. Again, put some weight onto your front leg. Feel stretch in your hamstring and engage your quads. So feel like you want to pull the kneecap up towards your hip. And then we're going to lift up onto the balls of our feet. Keep the weight over your front leg. 4 and 5. Nice, keep holding that again. Bring your other foot close your feet into a pike. Hold that. If you're not that far down, that's totally fine. You can use your chair, your yoga block, or whatever you have to hold your weight up here. That's totally cool. And as we do that, we're just going to go again up onto the balls of feet. Keep your legs nice and engaged and straight as you do that. And feel like you want to keep clothing your pike when you lift up. Nice, and last one. Great. Alright, shake out your legs for a moment. Alright, get some movement back into them. A lot of stretching. So, next we're going to do some splits. So, if you feel like your knees tend to get sore when you do splits because there's a lot of pressure on your knee, feel free to grab your towel or your scarf or whatever you have prepared for the class and put that under your knee just to take a little bit of the pressure off and not hurt you while we do some great stretches. So again, you can grab the chair, the wall, or something to hold yourself up. It's really good to have your chest upright when you do splits, or the yoga blocks, or whatever you have around you. It's totally fine. I'm going to put the timer on again. And so one thing that I wanted to say as well before we go into the split is that we want to keep our hips nice and square. So the way you know that your hips are square, you can find your little hip bones here. And both of these ones should be facing forward. So imagine they have some headlights on them and they should both be shining forward, illuminating the path in front of you. So that's the way you know that your hips are square. So you can check for yourself when you're in your splits. So I'm going to do them sideways again, so you can see what I'm doing. But so we're just going to go here, slide into our split here. Make sure your hips are nice and square. Shoulders should be nice and square as well, and relaxed. So if you notice that your hips becoming a little bit unsquare, kind of like that, what do you think about a good cue to kind of help you kind of fix that is to think about pulling the front leg into your hip as you turn around. Make sure that when you square up your hips a bit more, your body doesn't become twisted. That's quite a common thing to happen. So make sure that your shoulders are nice and square. The weight is evenly distributed over your hip flexor and your hamstrings. Your legs stay nice and engaged. So you want to keep the front leg engaged and the back leg here as well, and your lower back. Keep it nice and engaged, but try and breathe and relax. Keep your shoulders upright. If you have a yoga block to hold yourself up, that's helpful as well. And then we're going to squeeze up towards the ceiling 10 times. You can use your arms a little bit, but try to use them as little as possible, using the muscles in your legs. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go back into your split. Nice. Just another 5 seconds, and then we can come out of it. All right, give that a little bit of a shake. Move on in your legs. That if you're not used to holding the splits for that long, you could really feel it in your legs. If you find that your legs are starting to kind of twitch and tingle, come out of it before that. That's totally fine. Just want to make sure that your legs can support you in that position. You don't want to get them unstable and have you hurt yourself. So just take it at your own pace. So it's just a little stretch along. So let's get started with our other leg just to make it nice and even. So again, go into your split, keep it nice and square, both hip bones facing forward. Nice and relaxed. Good. Just hold that for a moment here. Yeah, stay nice and engaged. Engage your abs as well. And just so you can check also that your feet, everything is nice and aligned, so your back foot doesn't start to twist or do funny things. You can check that and twist up and again. Show you in a nice square line. And then squeeze up towards the ceiling 10 times. 6, 7, I'm not sure if it's still on, yeah. 8, 9, 10, and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Alright, and come out of it. Right, that was both sides done, and because that was so much fun, I'm going to do both sides again. So 2 rotations. If you have splits that are already flat on the ground, that's fabulous. Now it's your time to do some over splits. So go ahead and find yourself your chair. You can use that even if you don't get to the ground on the chair, that's totally fine, but just find whatever height you have if you want to do over splits. Otherwise, just go ahead and do this, do your normal splits again. So 2 rotations is always good, just to see if the second time is a little bit easier. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put my leg on here. And can you still see me? Yeah, fabulous. Alright, go into your first side again and split your leg up. Make sure you're nice and square again. And even, I need to check myself sometimes as well. There we go. And this time what I'm going to do is move our chest forwards, up and back. You like this, forwards, some weight onto your hamstring, and back, and middle. You can use your arm as well to go along with it. Make sure that you use the same arm as your front leg, and go back, up, forward, straight, and back. One more, forward, straight, and back. Nice. Alright, and then come out of it. Right, one leg done, one more. So if you're like me and you started with your better side, you're now suffering because you have to do your bad side, but that's okay. We are all in the same boat. If you have done your bad side first, you are smart, so you can now enjoy it. So, great. Let's do good or the bad side, depending on what kind of human you are. Right. Put your leg on. We'll make sure that your hips are nice and square. And then we're going to move our body up, forwards, up, and back. Up, and forwards, up, and back. And a couple more times. Forwards, up, and back. And one last one. Forward, up, and back. Nice. Alright, come out of it. Well done. That was hard, I hope. So those sort of movements of your upper body, I really like to do them because you really notice how it changes your stretch. So when you go forward, you feel a lot more pressure on your hamstring, and when you go back, it's a lot more on your hip flexor. So that kind of gives you an idea as well of why we want our body usually upright, so just make it even, get our stretch nice and evenly over both types of muscle groups. So that was our square splits. We finished those up. But before we get onto our middle splits and pancakes, we're going to do one quick active flexibility exercise that I know you all love to do. So go up onto your feet, right, get some moving, and then put your hands in front of you. You can use, again, your chair, your yoga block or whatever to hold yourself up here, so don't worry if your hands don't reach the ground. And then we're going to bring our leg back in behind us and lift up 10 times. Look up and keep your back flat if you can, and make sure you drop your hips so it's nice and square. So you don't want to open up like that, you want to keep it nice and dropped here. And once we have done 10, you're going to do 10 pulses at the top there as well. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great. Right, you should feel it kind of working in your butt. It's good, it's what we want. And now other side. Alright, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 pulses. Nice, alright. Gets you working, doesn't it? Great. Alright, let's do some pancakes. So, go into your little straddle about 90 degrees, so don't go too wide. Point your feet, keep your legs nice and engaged, and you will always want to keep your legs turned out a little bit, so your knees facing up towards the ceiling. And when you reach forward, your knees keep facing up towards the ceiling. Don't let them drop in. Stay nice and engaged and hold that for just a moment. Feel like you want to get your belly button on the floor. If you have someone there with you, you can ask them to pull you a little bit. Just make sure you give them cues as to how much so you don't hurt yourself. Or you can pull yourself on a piece of furniture or something if you like as well. And just stay there for another 10 seconds. Nice. Breathe. Good. And then we'll lift up. And then bring out your arms up towards your ears. You can also cross it over your arms if you like. And then we're going to lift up down to the bottom. We're going to just do 5 today. When you go forward, make sure your legs don't go in with you. And one more. Alright. Oh, it's a great active exercise. So before we go into the middle splits, just going to make sure our hips are ready for it. So we want to just wake up those hip muscles and leg muscles. So we're going to do some lovely little straddle kicks. Do them sideways so you can see the angle properly. So pop yourselves up on your elbows, and your legs up towards you. I'm just making sure I don't hit the wall. Alright, and then you're going to kick down towards the ground, and you want to kind of have a little bit of a straddle. So 10 times here, just a little bit of a legs kind of a little more towards you than back, so not fully straight. And just 2 more. Alright, nice. And then we're going to go into the middle split. So you can either go from your pancake straddle and roll over. That's my preferred way of going into it. Keeps my hips nice and happy. but you can also go into it from above if that's your preferred way. It's kind of like a little bit of personal preference. It's totally fine. If your hips are not used to it, you can go into a little frog stretch as well. Here you want to make sure that your legs are kind of 90 degrees here. You can't even see me. There we go, 90 degrees around here. In your frog stretch, you can go forwards and back and find that stretch where it stretches you the most, and find that. Make sure you engage your outer butt here, especially in your middle split. So if you're in the middle split here, so your knees are facing forward, but then you're engaging the outer butt so that you kind of feel like you want to turn out your leg a little bit. So that puts your femur in a slightly better position for your hip, and is not quite as awkward and uncomfortable on your hips if you do it that way. Alright, I'm just going to hold it a little bit. If you're in your middle split, you can play around with your pelvis position and feel where it stretches you good and what feels good for you. Middle splits are kind of a position that are a little bit personal, so what kind of makes your hips feel the best is usually a good position for you. The one thing that you don't want is come forward like that and end up in an awkward little straddle, so you want to make sure that you have a nice straight line there with your legs. Right, I'm going to come out of it for a moment, and then I'm going to do one more round of middle splits. If you have a middle split on the ground, just put your leg on something and then go into it for your over splits. But there's no pressure, you can just do it at your own pace and see what feels good for you, what you need. Just make sure that your legs are staying nice and engaged. If you find that your knees are starting to hurt in your middle split, that is usually a sign that your legs are not engaged enough, so you want to make sure that your quads stay nice and engaged as well to stabilize your knee joint and don't put so much pressure on it while you are doing your middle splits. Alright, and then we're going to slowly come out of it. Nice. Alright, shake that out. Middle splits can be quite tough on your hips, so you might feel it when you come out of it. There's a little bit of a soreness there. That is totally normal. If it does really hurt and it's pinchy, then leave it for a bit. But we're gonna stretch out our hips one nice. Now, so you do it like a big, nice diamond shape. I'm just gonna go back a little bit so you can see it. So diamond shape here. You can use your elbows to press down on your knees and then bring your chest forward and get a nice stretch. You should feel it in your hip and bottom, stretching a little bit there. It's a really nice stretch. I quite enjoy this one, just because your hips do tend to get quite sore. Right, and then stretching the other way as well. So feet flat on the ground, and then put your foot onto your knee from the outside, so bring it over into that. Make sure your foot stays flat on the ground, and then just press down. Should stretch you nice in your sides here, and just hold that for a moment. Lovely little stretch in your back and hamstrings, and then we're going to switch over, other side. Again, feet stay nice and flat on the ground, and let's stretch it over in there. Good. Alright. How are we going for time? Great. Awesome. So just to finish up our legs, we're going to do one active flex exercise for your middle splits. So we're going to go into a little plank, yeah, and bring your leg out to where your middle split would usually be. So it's nice and out to the side. Make sure you're tilting your pelvis forward, and then we're going to lift here. Just going to do 8. Alright, and the other side. Make sure you're not twisting too much in your upper body. You just want to use your leg and lift it there to the side. You should feel it working in your hip. If you can't feel it in your hip here, you might want to play with your leg position. It could mean that your leg is a little bit too far forward or too far back. So play with that if you can't feel it working in your hips there. So that was it for our legs. So we're going to get started on our back flexibility now. So to start off with, again, we want to wake up our muscles in our back and everything, and our butt as well, which is a really important bit of back flexibility. So the first thing we're going to do is just do some leg kicks towards your back. So go onto your hands and knees, and we're going to kick up with one leg. So extend it out to the butt's back. You can bend it at the top once you kick. That's totally fine. Make sure that your arms stay nice and straight, so they have a tendency to go into that. Make sure they stay nice and locked. And think about pushing back from your arms if you can, but if that's too confusing at the moment, that's totally fine. Just make sure your arms stay straight. Alright, so you're going to just kick up here. Do 8 of those. Make sure your hips stay nice and square as well. Alright, and other leg. Alright, nice. Just a little bit of activation. And then we're going to do one of my absolute favorite exercises, which are the slow cobras. So anyone who's done my classes know that I'm a big fan of those. They're really good to get all the muscles in your back working properly. And one thing though that you do need to think about when you do the slow cobras is to keep your shoulders back and down. So squeeze your shoulder blades together while you do them. That will really change your activation in your back. If you don't do that, you end up just curling backwards and not really using your back muscles at all. So you know you're doing it right when you can feel all the muscles in your back firing and really kind of like burning a little bit when you do it. So that's a good sign. Doing it great. So we want to start off putting our arms. Yes, you won't see me right there. Your arms kind of by your shoulders roughly, and we're going to start with our head. So lengthen forward. We want to get as much length in our spine and air in our spine as possible, rather than curling up. And then walk down really nice and slow, one vertebra at a time. Really focus on using your upper back here. It's really hard to find that upper back. And go up and both. When you're right at the end, you can squeeze your lower butt. Really open up into your hips. Try not let your hips come off the floor, and then you're gonna slowly go back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, back and down, and come back down to the ground. One vertebra at a time, nice and slow. Especially focus on that last bit here, which has a tendency to just drop and not be activated as easily as the rest of your back. One thing that I find helpful if you find it really hard to activate your upper back is to really put some pressure in your hands. So you can use your hands, squeeze and put some weight into them and just feel like you want to pull them along the floor as you go up. So just here, feel like you want to pull the ground away towards you and go up and over, squeeze. Feel like, again, thinking about shoulders up, back and down, and slowly come back. You can again use your hands, walk them along the ground, and one vertebra at a time, come back to the floor. Nice. I'm going to do one more. And one. Nice, and up and back. Here. And when you're at the top, see if you can get your hands off the floor and bring them by your ears and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly come down to towards the ground with the arms by your ears. Nice. Alright, one more. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to stop. This is going to be really hard. So you're going to, rather than doing the arms by your ears right at the top, you're going to do it halfway. So we're going to kind of come back halfway, bring our arms by your ears. You should feel that one really in your upper back. It's really hard, but it's good. So up, all the way, and slowly come back to halfway. Bring your arms up by your ears and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Nice. You should really feel the activation here in your middle back. So good. Hard, but good. Make those muscles working and help you. Conditioning is really important for any sort of flexibility work, so you know, stay nice and safe in your bends. One more. I'm going to do up and over, and we're going to do just a little bit of swiveling from side to side as we bring it back down. Everything working nice and smoothly. Alright, lift up onto your feet and just take a little bit of a moment, bring your elbows from side to side, and then we're going to lift up one side and get your sides working as well. And here, just do 5 little pulses and switch over to the other side. And camera stopping. Make sure you stay nice and open so you really feel the stretch throughout the entire side. And then roll up into your spine. Alright, give it a little bit of move. I'm just moving my camera angle a little bit. And give your shoulders a little bit of a move. We're going to do some shoulder stretches as well, so we want to make sure that your shoulders are nice and ready for it. And back. Nice. Alright. So I'm going to find our wall space. I'm moving the camera angle a wee bit so you can see it from the side. Yeah. Right. So bring your hands onto the wall. It's about arm length away from the wall, but it depends a little bit on everyone's proportion, how long your arms are and so forth. But you can see how you feel the stretch. You should feel the stretch in your shoulders. If you don't, adjust your position a little bit. So go into your stretch here. So you want to really aim to get your armpits on the wall here. You can lift up onto your fingertips if you needed more of a stretch. If you feel the stretch is going into your back rather than your shoulders, what you can do is when you're in that position, just straighten your back a little bit. Get that arch out of your back, and then you should feel it transferring more into your arms and shoulders, and get that nice, good stretch here. Alright, come out of it. Do a little body wave, just to get your spine moving in every sort of little position. It's really nice, get a little bit of movement in it. So just find all the little bits and pieces, move them around, a little wiggle. If you want, you can put on some music for you, and that makes you just move around a little bit more. Alright, we're gonna just do one quick shoulder flex exercise. So, again, back onto the ground. Sorry, I just have to move the camera angle a wee bit to make sure you see everything I'm doing. Go onto your knees and go to your child's pose here. And I'm gonna lift up just the arms above my ears. In this exercise, your arms have a tendency to bend and come apart. Try and resist from doing that. What you can do is you can grab your phone or a yoga block or something to hold so that you can make sure that your arms don't come apart, and just make sure they don't bend. You can do one arm at a time if two arms And if you find two arms too challenging, or you find that you cheat, then just do one arm at a time. That's totally fine. Don't open up with your body, just use your arm to lift. You should feel it in your shoulder when you move it there into extension. Just a little bit of strength movement there. Cool. And I'm just going to do a couple more exercises for your shoulders and upper back. So the first one is one of my favorite exercises to get your upper back, kind of like the activation in your upper back. So you should feel it in between your shoulder blades when you do this exercise. Bring your arm into the back of your neck. Yeah, twist open and then lift open. Bring your elbow towards your opposite butt cheek. And back and down. And do 5 twists on each side there. Three, 4, and 5. Nice. And the other side. Open up and twist. Do it to the other side. Twist. And 3. Really, if you don't feel it in between your shoulder blades, see if you can twist a little bit more and really bring that shoulder back as far as you can as you open up, and don't let your wrists do anything funny. Cool. Alright. Hope you felt that in your upper back. A little disco cat. A little bit of movement again. Alright. And now, for our last exercise, we finally get to use our chair and our scarf. So, isn't that exciting? Right. Grab your chair. I've got one here. Yes, and a little scarf. You can, as I said, you can use a TheraBand or whatever. It's really just there to bring out the tension, so you can have tension on it, and you make sure that your arms don't drift in. So, this one is quite a challenging exercise. So you should feel it being quite difficult. So what we're going to do here is put tension on your scarf or tea towel or whatever you have. Your wrist should be over your elbow joint, and they should stay there. So what your arms will want to do when you do the exercise is come in, and we want to avoid that from happening. So we keep tension out, and then so go a little bit closer on your knees, and then we're going to go down into this extension here. Hold for 3, 2, 1, and come back up. You should really feel that working in your muscles up here. If your arms start to come in, come up a little bit. You don't have to go quite as low. You just need the tension. Keep the tension on here. Even if you only go a little bit down here, and that's totally fine. So again, keep down as far as you can go without letting your arms drop in. 3, 2, 1, and come back up. So you're going to want to go back, kind of push away from it as you go down. So again, one more. 3, 2, 1, and back up. Nice. Alright. You should feel that really working in your arms and your shoulders and your upper back. So it's a really great exercise to get that extra flexibility in your upper back and shoulders working. Alright. You can do more reps of those if you want. I like to keep it kind of at a low number to start with, just to make sure you're doing it right. It's usually it's more important to do it right with good technique than to do more and not do them properly. So, okay. So, just to finish up our class, we're going to do a little ab workout. And I have another song prepared for it, which I can't play, but you can all play it through your own YouTube at home. It's Ed Sheeran, South of the Border, so it should be down in the description as well of the video. Just give you a moment to find the song. I'll put it up in your on YouTube in a separate tab, and I will put it on in my headphones, and we're gonna have a little bit of a tune playing along while we work hard and do some abs. You can do it without the song if you like, but it's kind of more fun with music, so that's why I thought we'd do it that way. Alright, let me get started. Set it up. Okay, everyone ready to play your songs and go. Bring up, we're going to start with some leg kicking. Straight legs. And come up for bicycle. And slow open. Oh, sounds nice. And one more. And penguin. Bring your shoulders off the floor. And go into a plank. And back onto hands and elbows. And then lift up. Use your core. Really curl from your upper abs. And get ready for mountain climbers. And side to side. And mountain climbers again. And side to side. And done. Alright. Nice. Good work, team. That's it for today. I hope you had fun. Yeah, if you have any feedback, just let us know in the comments or on the community groups on the website, and we hopefully can make adjustments if necessary. The next online class for adults will be on Friday at 5 p.m. It's a juggling manipulation class with Michael, so join that if you like. It's a really good time to try new things, so go ahead and join that. Then we also have a challenge up on the website. It's in the garage area group. It's a handstand challenge this week. We have new ones coming up every week, so go ahead and join and see what you can do, what other circus activities you can do, and yeah, the next stretch class will probably be next week, but we will keep an eye on the announcements. We will release a new schedule probably tomorrow or the day after. Just check it and we'll make sure that you know what's happening. Alright, I hope you'll have a great day and stay safe, stay home, and hopefully we can work out in person again sometime soon. Alright, bye!